What up, crew? It's your boy, The Pace, and today we are checking out the Canadian Shield. No, not that Canadian Shield, this Canadian Shield. A 4-team invitational tournament during the FIFA international break, and it consists of 4 teams: host Canada, the Ukraine, Côte d'Ivoire, and New Zealand. All similarly ranked, but with New Zealand being the lowest tier. This is meant to be a predecessor or a warm-up for the World Cup, which will be here in a year's time. We'll be checking out 2 games today, Canada versus Ukraine and Côte d'Ivoire versus New Zealand. But some of the cool things that we're going to check out are any stadium upgrades, as well as just the general atmosphere. Right away, just walking through this crowd, there's anticipation, a bit of an electricity. International friendlies are always competitive, but people are repping their flag, and they're wondering how well their team look heading into the World Cup. Canada is ranked 30th in the world, which is one of their highest rankings ever, and Ukraine is ranked 25th. So this should be a fairly competitive matchup. Thanks, Coca-Cola FIFA rankings. You're not always useless. But for the positive of this tournament, it does give Canada some look at international competition, especially prior to the World Cup. So let's get to the action. There's kickoff between Canada and Ukraine. As we pass by this dope Schaffelberg jersey, within the first 2 minutes already a potential penalty that could be called. No call from the ref though. There's our favorite Hawk Bitchy. And just as I made it to my seat, the score is already 1-0. Jonathan David scored in the 4th minute. He is on fire at the moment. And on the other end, Ukraine is making Crepo work. The Ukrainian fans came out in full support of their team. They rarely come to BMO to play games, and they're definitely out here for some well-deserved support. Something that will be debuting or running during the World Cup are the fan cams, and they're being tested out here. And curse my iPhone for getting this blurry, but here's the second Jonathan David goal. Wherever he goes from Lille, he's got to get paid. I don't know, but you gotta pay the man. I hope Tottenham picks him up, but I mean, after they treated Ange Postecoglou the way they did, I mean, who knows? Maybe Napoli's a good place for him.
Scored in the 24th minute by number 10, Jonathan David.
Ooh, ah, Canada, say ooh, ah, Canada. Ooh, ah, Canada, say ooh, ah, Canada. Ukraine doing a great job of bringing the ball up to the attacking third, but their attack fizzles out. Yeah! Get in there! Canada's up 3-0. And it is the man that secured a title for his Belgian squad not too long ago, Promise David. An amazing prospect coming up the ranks. There's the supporter section. Much needed hype there. As the half progressed, Ukraine continued the press. They were able to get to the second third many times, but were stifled by Canada's defense. But they did put up valiant attacking effort throughout. Jesse Marsh's game plan of attacking very early on has paid off. As halftime approaches, Canada's up 3-0, and they've put out an amazing effort thus far. It's halftime of our first game. Let's see what's around the stadium. The Valorant Masters. Big esports tourney going on. All right, so we're gonna get a poutine. $16 gets us a brisket poutine. And yeah, this one was great. It just didn't need the bread. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Not too bad though. Wanted to walk around during halftime just to capture some of the vibes. Very different atmosphere relative to when we visited here in March for TFC's second game of the season. It's an international game. The Canadian fans come out. You got Ukraine, a Ukrainian community that has come out and supported a team that doesn't usually come and play games here at BMO. So it's a really cool atmosphere, and it's kind of gearing up towards what I would feel like a World Cup atmosphere would be. It kind of reminds me of Qatar, where everyone's walking around with their flags and just enjoying the thing. Here's the format of this tournament, which does confuse some. I'll explain it more later. And then here is a bit of the warm-up, but yeah, just walking around. It's good to see people rep their colors and just overall enjoy the experience. And remember, World Cup tickets apparently will go on sale in September, so that's a dope Shevchenko jersey. You see some Côte d'Ivoire fans coming into the arena too. Wonder which countries will grace us with their presence at BMO Field in a year's time. And for the second half kickoff, will Canada keep their lead or will Ukraine fight back? Couple minutes in and Ukraine's already starting to press and attack. They're starting to give Capo some questions, and Canada seems to have taken a defensive stance. It's wild. This game is in Toronto, but you could start to feel the momentum shift in the crowd. The Ukrainian fans are starting to pretty much take over. It is getting hype in here with the chants, and hopefully it relates to on-field success as Ukraine starts to mount another attack. 15 minutes in and Canada is pinned in their own end. By the way, here's a World Cup warm-up for you. Water's $11 and it likely will be in a year's time. Boom. It's pretty much been all Ukraine this half. There's another, oh, that's offside. But they're getting there. Man, this crowd is taking over and they're doing it in a pretty electric and hype way. Honestly, it's been a while since I've felt BMO shake like this. It's an international friendly, but it's still a competition, and this is the stuff you want to see from the crowd. Oh, that one just sailed above the bar. Here's another look at the fan cam that's going to be shown during the World Cup.
I don't know, we'll see about that.
Canada's starting to press in the second half. First shot on goal. Oh, it just hits the post. And there goes Jonathan David, subbed off 2 goals, 78 minute. Whoever gets him this transfer window, pay the man. You know what? With 10 minutes left, it might be safe to say that this is a Canada victory. And they just further cemented it again. Tejan Buchanan with a goal. And a beautiful flip there. I give that flip a 10 out of 10. But kudos to the Ukrainian squad. They're on the offensive again, and another shot. That Canadian flag is waving high. The pressure has become quite immense here, and Canada has been trying to hold their line in shape. But here comes the Ukrainian attack. Off Crapo. Oh, and they get one. The fans finally get their goal. And man, for some reason, up here, it feels like we're playing an away game right now. One thing is, we need more Canadians in Toronto to come out to these games. But good for the fans in the crowd. They get to see their squad light one up. It's another shot. Oh, that is a penalty. And an extra time as well. Will Ukraine get a second? The crowd is in anticipation right now. Everything's starting to build up here as they get this set up. But it's definitely a penalty, unfortunately off Tejan. The crowd is still anticipating the second goal. And I believe it will be Captain Zinchenko that will be taking this penalty. And they've got their second. Two goals in the last 4 minutes. I mean, that'll send the crowd happy, that's for sure. Overall, the Ukrainian supporters get to see their players clap them off on the field. Solid game, lots of goals. It was a cagey affair, a lot closer than what the scoreline says. And here is the Canadian team with the drums, thanking their supporter section. Me, as a Canadian fan, it's great to see these games in Toronto, but we need to see more games in other parts of Canada as well. And Toronto, we need to get that supporter section filled up too. But overall, everyone is cheering the Canadian team here. That's a cool flag out there. All right, so that is the end of the first game. Everyone's starting to file out from that first game, and the next game is going to be Côte d'Ivoire and New Zealand. And we've been able to move down to the pretty much center line, or the lounge area of BMO Field. Here's the view from this section. And this is a look at the VIP seats that are kind of cushioned, but expect these to cost a pretty penny come World Cup time. Some fans have stuck around, but here you can see the TSN crew, and there's Promise David just yapping with the commentators there. So a lot of media work going on. We're waiting for about an hour and a half until the next kickoff, but that's a cool scarf. And there's a look at the Canadian Shield logo. So far, good action. But now with these two teams coming up, let's see exactly what they bring to the table. They are two potential World Cup contestants. The New Zealand will be likely going into the World Cup as the Oceania qualifier. And they call it a tournament, but it's basically two friendly games that each team plays. And whoever gets the most points after the two games wins the whole thing. Tiebreaker through goals scored and then fair play. Here's the Ivory Coast or Côte d'Ivoire team. And they brought their supporters as well. Man, this is the energy we will see in the World Cup. I can't wait to see it. There's the supporter section for the Ivory Coast. Not a lot of people in the crowd for this one, but you will definitely hear them. So something to note, the Ivory Coast is ranked 41 in the world based on the Coca-Cola rankings, and New Zealand's 86. So a bit of a discrepancy here between the two teams. But football's played on grass and not on the rankings, so we'll see how this game shapes out. Côte d'Ivoire is the reigning African Cup of Nations champions. Taking the team pictures, and here is kickoff for the second game of the evening. To note the discrepancy in talent too, the Ivory Coast here is seen as the favorites, boasting a transfer market value of their players of 248 million euros relative to 26 million for New Zealand. The Ivory Coast do have players that have experience in League One, Serie A, and the Premier League. It's been pretty much all Ivory Coast on possession, but New Zealand has been defending well every time the Ivory Coast have been able to reach the attacking third. And man, it's a long way from the Ivory Coast to here, but It does sound like a home game for Côte d'Ivoire. Hopefully the players feel it too. I mean, this is just off a corner. I swear, this stadium is not packed. You can see it as well. It sounds like it. And this is just off a corner. Shout out Côte d'Ivoire fans, bring that World Cup energy. Another shot, and it just grazes the keeper. Another free open shot. Oh, just too much of a heavy touch there. And the fans know it too. They know it too. It's so close. This has basically been the whole half. Like, Ivory Coast has been pressing and shooting until this happens. Oh! This, off the counterattack, New Zealand scores. Oh, always a possibility when you play against teams you not always play against. They're from two different conferences, and you know what? They got caught off guard, and New Zealand comes in with a way to score.
New Zealand goal scored in the 41st minute by number 11.
The 20 New Zealand fans in the crowd are hype right now. But that doesn't discourage Ivory Coast from coming and mounting another attack. Oh, they just couldn't get it together in the end. They do so many great things to build up the play. They just can't finish. Oh, that wasn't great. The first sub's coming into play, hopefully trying to turn things around. They've been dominating. Heck yeah, I love this guy's energy. Into the second half, still more of the same from the Ivory Coast. In the box. Oh, they just can't get a shot off. The New Zealand back four is a sentinel on defense. The Ivory Coast knows something's coming up. They're hyping this dude. Who could it be? What the heck? Oh, no way. Look, I know it's a friendly, but the Ivory has quality ballers on their bench. Sebastian Haller and Frank Kessie, who played for Dortmund and Barcelona. And they're just entering the game in the second half. A forward and a central defender that could hold the ball. They're trying to win now. Here we go. The reinforcements are brought in. Will Ivory Coast change their way of play? Will this change? Will this add any result to the end of their attacks? And it's kind of more of the same, more or less. Unfortunately, they are trying. The crowd knows it. And everyone's, the bodies are hitting the floor. Love this crowd, though. They are staying hype. They don't care if they're down one. They keep going. But all good things come to an end, and so did Côte d'Ivoire's ability to mount a comeback at this time. Shout out to New Zealand coming in as the lower ranked team and just clawing their way, defending and countering their way into an upset victory tonight. So that's pretty much it from BMO Field. This was a great day of international football at BMO Field. We saw a few stadium upgrades with those screens and world-class talents on display. For more leading up to the World Cup, I'll be trying to post some more event videos. Like, subscribe, follow. It's been your boy, The Pace. Peace.